I read a recent study that close to 50% of all people, young adults who are dating, have some sort of an abandonment struggle. And at first that hit me out of nowhere. I couldn't believe it. Like, how is that even possible? But then I read about the statistics of single parent families, or people who grow up with a family member in the military, or couples who raise children when they live far apart. There's all sorts of reasons people can have abandonment issues. And it might be something as simple as the child grew up and the parents for a while couldn't take care of them, so they went to the grandmothers, or they went to some sort of a child care place, and they would see the parents on weekend. And if that's the case, those children too many times will grow up with abandonment issues. When you grow up with abandonment issues, basically your biggest fear is that the person you love most will leave you, or they won't stay around. And many times you can personalize that you're not worthy, or they rejected you. But most of the time it just looks like, if you're dating someone with abandonment issues, they're more prone to jealousy. They have a tendency to push you away at times, especially the more intimate you become. Or they may grow up needing constant reassurance from you. Things like, promise me you'll never leave, or do you really love me? And they may question this over and over. This is part of the reason that these relationships, when you're with a partner who has abandonment issues, can seem so heavy. It can seem like such a struggle. And you may ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Chances are high that you're not doing anything wrong, but there's other things you can do that will help your partner feel close to you, like they can let down, like they can be vulnerable and really begin to trust you. I have some ideas that I think are going to help, but once again, it comes to practicing these. When you hear these ideas I'm going to propose, it's important that you talk to your partner, the one with abandonment issues, and see how it resonates with them. So I may say something broad topic, then take that apart and ask them, what do you think about this? What specifically do you believe will help reassure you, or will help make you feel better with us, so that you can trust me completely, knowing I'm not going to leave? The first of these is practice communication and patience. It's so easy to get impatient. And when you get impatient, you oftentimes are frustrated. So you're more terse. And at those times where a normal person, or a person without avoidant or abandonment issues, may say, well, that's okay, they were stressed or whatever, I understand. If you have abandonment issues, you're going to say, oh my God, they're trying to get out of the relationship. What does this mean next? Because they're more vigilant than a normal or a person without abandonment issues may be. They're more sensitive to the fact that anything said in a terse or a slightly angry or frustrated way could mean you want out, you want to abandon them. So if you're communicating more clearly, if you're more patient when they say something or they need more reassurance, if you can take a deep breath, self-soothe, practice those tips to calm yourself down, it's going to be much easier for you to stay in this relationship and co-create it to be better. Be honest. If you say you're going to be at a place, make sure you're there. In a normal, healthy relationship, once in a while there's some give and take with that. Your partner may say, well, I'm going to go get the dry cleaning, but on the way they stopped and looked at something else or bought something else. And you may say, oh, I just thought you were going to go get the dry cleaning. Didn't know you were going to be gone this long. And you take that on face value. Yeah, they say, well, I had to stop and do a couple other errands. But if you grew up with abandonment issues, being honesty is going to be 10 times more important. Not only honest, but literal. What you say you're going to do, it's important that you follow through and do. And if you don't, text your partner so they know. The more transparent you can be, the more they're going to be able to trust you. Be prepared to prove yourself. if you basically, they are going to question you a lot, especially in the beginning, because they've been through other relationships where they've been abandoned. So it's important you understand that their testing is not so much just for you, it's more for them. They want to make sure you're not going to leave them, that they can actually trust you to stay. And so sometimes that means going the extra mile. And if you're not going to go the extra mile, explain, communicate very thoroughly why you're not. Avoid unhealthy behavior, and whatever you do, don't try to fix them. If you continue to do things that shake them or make them feel like you are not the commitment type, or you're not the type that is really honest with your word and actions, then they're not ever going to fully attach to you in a healthy way. They do this because they have the ability to surface attach or go deeper. Most of us do. But when you have any kind of an abandonment issue, you are a pro at that. And if you want the true person, you want this person to love you the way you love them, then you're going to have to grow up, and you're going to have to stop doing careless things, blaming others. You're going to have to take responsibility for yourself. And with that, understand that you can't fix them. And I would go so far as to tell them, listen, I'm not trying to fix you. At that point, I may even say, I do think going to therapy may help you so we can really have a relationship together. But if you can't work on you, then we have to relook at this relationship, because it's not that I don't love you. I wouldn't abandon you because I don't love you. I would abandon you because you're not willing to do what you need to do to resolve your past so you can love and trust me fully. But in order to say that, you have to start doing your part. And along with telling them this, I do think anyone with abandonment issues is going to run into trouble, either in their relationship with a personal, intimate other, or they're going to run into trouble at work. And so if it were me personally, I would say this is one of the issues therapy really helps with, and they have a clear plan, things you can practice that are really going to help you. For example, how to learn to trust that, honestly, if you were my friend or a loved one, someone close to me, I would tell you I would go to therapy with it right away, because I've seen the effects, and you don't have to live with this limitation. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.